Hello, listeners. Welcome back. Today's episode is for everyone. I have an amazing guest on, Trell Brooks. He's out here promoting his new single, Checks. It's on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, Tidal. Wherever you can find music, you can find Trell Brooks and his new single, Checks. He is a talented lyricist, but he's also a devoted husband, father, and an educator. This is an amazing episode that truly inspires, because where there's a will, there's a way. So tune in and enjoy. Welcome to IPA Sessions. Welcome to IPA Sessions, a podcast for independent artists. As always, I'm your host, Kay Jacob, and this is a place where I like to try and provide inspirations for practical application and entertainment. Today, I'm really excited to have on a guest. His name is Trell Brooks. He is a lyricist who specializes in lyrics through music and hip-hop, but he's also a devoted husband and father and an educator. And right now, he has a new single out. It's called Checks. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play. It's on all listening platforms where you can find music. Go listen to it. Check out Trell Brooks and his new single, Checks. Trell, welcome to the show. Say hi.
What's going on? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming in, man. I appreciate it. So I just kind of want to get to know you a little bit. Let the audience get to know you. Who really is Trell Brooks? What do you do? I mean, you have a whole list here. You're a lyricist. You're a hip hop artist. You're a husband, a father, an educator. You're everything, man.
Yeah.
Tell me about you.
Yeah, my life is pretty busy, but it's blessed nonetheless. I'm originally from Clayton, North Carolina, Johnston County. Shout out to Johnston County, North Carolina. You know, I came up as, another kid out of the country playing sport, being active and to every extracurricular activity I could be in, and came across writing, took writing into college and went to school in Greensboro, and, really thrived in that area as far as my writing, starting off with spoken word, starting off with just, presentations and working on my speech and my delivery. And then I got with a group of people who were doing the same thing, and that kind of helped sharpen my skill set, with what I was doing. And then, it got to the point where it's like, hey, you should try rapping. Nah, it's not for me. I don't think so. I like to listen to it. I'm going to stick to my spoken word and write in my book and be here and be cool. And then one thing led to another. I tried it and I've been doing it ever since, man.
It was like magic.
Yeah.
It just worked.
Yeah, it just worked. It really did.
So I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to know, I love that you call yourself a lyricist, and I think you just kind of explained why you do that. I love that. That's awesome, because the lyrics that you when you're out there singing, it's amazing. It's deep. There's a lot of meaning there too.
Yeah, absolutely. I really try to stay true to that craft. A lot of people develop gifts. They find their gifts. They find their calling, whatever it is. That, like I said, that was one that I just stumbled upon. I would have never thought that I would be a gifted writer, a skilled writer, a creative writer, and then to put my own style into it after I've, dibbled and dabbled with it for a little while. It's truly an amazing feeling. It's very humbling. It's very rewarding because of what it does for me mentally, for what it does for me spiritually. And of course, we're all adults here. I want some financial gains from it. But
that's why we do this, right?
Yeah, that's why we do it. But, nonetheless, personally, it's the writing part. The writing part, being a lyricist, focusing on those lyrics. It has done so much for me as an individual, as a man, as a husband, as a father, as an educator, as we spoke on earlier. I was just so true to the craft and respecting it at its highest degree because of what it's done for me personally, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. I'm an individual who I don't speak too quickly or too often on what I may be dealing with or how I'm feeling, whatever it is, good, bad, high, low. But I do that through my writing. And for some reason, I told my wife this, it's so much easier for me to express myself creatively through music or through writing, through poems, than it is to kind of just sit down and be like, yeah, this is what's going on. This is what I've been thinking. This is like, for some reason, it's just very difficult. I can do it, but I'm more comfortable in that element, being able to give me a beat. Let me get in my zone. Let me write. Let me hear. Let me feel it. Because I want to say exactly what I got going on inside or what I'm
It's
seeing.
your outlet. Yeah.
Absolutely, it is. And I know a lot of people have that, but I truly treat it as that. Even if I don't get paid from this, it's not going anywhere. This part that I do is really a part of my life for the long haul.
I love hearing that. I mean, that's what a lot of us as independent artists, it's sometimes it's a hobby that grows into something bigger because we're passionate
Right,
about it. It drives
right.
us. But at the same time, you're a father, you're a husband, you've got a 9 to 5 job. You have
Yeah,
a life and you have to figure out how to manage around that. If you don't mind, tell us a little bit about, what your 9 to 5 is like. You are an educator. What do you
yeah.
do?
Woo. So it's funny that we say 9 to 5 because if for most teachers, most educators, it's more like a 8 to 3, 8 to 3:30, 7:36, depending on what your schedule is.
Right.
If you're a super teacher, you there all day. But man, it's early mornings. It really is. It's early mornings and a lot of late nights at times. With it's summer, now, but during the school year, you have to be on a schedule yourself because your students are on a schedule, and if you're a family man like me, your family's on a schedule more than likely.
Oh
And so
yeah.
it's early mornings with the kids, getting them up, getting them situated for daycare and for school, making sure they're all situated and straight. And then I go to work. And then depending on what the lesson is for the day, depending on what's going on that week, I may move around some things as far as my planning and scheduling. But as soon as I get in, I mean, when you're dealing with, elementary school age kids, you got to be on it. You got to
It's
be
a
on it.
handful. Yeah.
Yeah, you really don't even get a break just kind of coming in and getting the day started. You get in and it's laser focused, getting them situated, getting them going. But that in itself is very rewarding as well. And we get out about 3. I may have a meeting, I may have a parent conference, I may have to stay late to get ready for the big test tomorrow or to get it's a whole list of things that educators go through just to manage day to day. Not only the the workload and the stress that they may have outside of the classroom, but dealing with these various characters and energies
I
and
love that. Characters and energies.
yeah, and
Absolutely.
needs. And look, don't get me wrong, for everybody that's that'll be listening and tuning in. Like I love what I do
Yeah.
because as we know, it's not too much. It's not too much in education. It's really all about the heart. But I do what I do because I'm called to do it, and I do to the best of my ability. I do what I can to be obedient and serve these kids as much as I can. Whether it be pulling them to the side, giving them a pep talk and some encouragement, or really sitting down with them and letting them know their options when it comes to certain situations. I mean, these kids that I work with are they're amazing, they're gifted, they're talented, but they've also have endured quite a bit too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not by their own doing, just kind of the circumstances and the hands that are kind of dealt to them, but nonetheless they're very resilient, very strong, opinionated, and like I said, creative and open-minded to a lot of things. But their spirits are very bright, and they need a lot of guidance. They need a lot of love, a lot of support. And I'm a teacher, I'm an educator, and I'm saying it. But if I'm being real, a lot of times it's easier said than done.
Oh,
Because
I agree.
as much as you're trying to pour into these kids and do for them, it takes away from you at times. It
Yeah.
takes away from you at times. And I've gone home questioning, my profession, like, yo, what am I doing? This can't be every day. Like, this can't be every day. Okay, it's just one day. It's just one day. And not all days are like that, but the days that are, they can pile up on you. And, you got that at school. I'm a father. After I deal with that at school, guess where I gotta go?
Deal with your own kids too.
Home.
Yeah.
I have to go home with my own kids. And that's a blessing. That's a blessing to be able to come home, to be able to come home to a family. But at the same time, I have to be aware of my energy that I'm bringing into the household. I have to be aware of the load that I just took on from the day, dealing with the kids and plannings and meetings and what the state is requiring, what the district is requiring, and all of this stuff. I keep that in mind. And so one thing that I've learned from being a father, educator, a husband, my son's basketball coach, all of the stuff that I do is that balance is key, right? There's sometimes where sacrifices is the word of the day. And I may have to sacrifice sleep. I may have to sacrifice time. I may have to sacrifice an opportunity, but it's all for family. It's all for these students that I'm serving. It's all for the community that I'm serving, right? It's always for something bigger, something greater, something more. And I have to remind myself that, you can't be Superman to everybody, even though everybody may think you are, but understand that you're human too. As an educator, you have these feelings, you have these thoughts, you have stress, you have great days, you have bad days. And there's always room for improvement in this field. And, I learn every day. I have a motto and a brand that I'm pushing called Learn, Apply, Adapt. And it's really just creating a smoother life, a better life for yourself, being the best version of yourself. You learn whatever you can learn, and that doesn't even have to be in a school setting. That's life. That's in the car ride with your family. That's down the hall when you're, going to, I don't know, ask for some sugar, when you're going to check the mail. Like, it's right wherever you can learn from, and the knowledge that you can get, you learn it. You keep it to yourself. You learn it. You internalize it, and then you apply it. Right, whatever that may be. There's no sense in learning all that we learn, whether it's in school, out of school, and not doing anything with it, right? That's pointless. You learn, you apply, and you adapt. You change. You change for the better, right? You change for the better for your wife. You change for the better for your family. You change for the better for these students. Oh, whatever it is to you. This is just me.
I don't think truer words have ever been stated, though. I love the honesty here, and you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But that's my whole approach to what I do as an educator. That's my whole approach, honestly, to my creative process too. With writing, I learn, apply, adapt, and don't be afraid to experiment. Don't be afraid to what we call fail forward, right? Where we make that mistake, where we learn, and then when that experience or that situation happens to present itself again in a different form, oh, we got the knowledge. We've already learned this. I've already applied it. I'm adapting like this. It got me down last time, but hey, you know what? It's not going to phase me now because we've already been through this. My confidence has increased. I got other people believing me in me. We making some things shake. So that's my whole thing, man. With learn, apply, adapt through education, through life, through music, through the writing, is to grow, to be better for you and the people around you that benefit from you and that you benefit from, and to create a smoother life for yourself. That's really it.
I feel like you should just go by the name Mr. Brooks, the coolest teacher around. That's probably what I'm hearing.
I hear that a lot. Yeah, Mr. Brooks. I hear that a lot.
I really appreciate you sharing that with us, and getting to know you and how you apply your day-to-day life and how it goes into the art that you create, the music that you create, the inspirations behind everything. Yeah. Now let's dive into this music. Let's talk about the lyrical genius that you are, and let's talk about this new single. Let's talk about some of your previous works. What's that been like for you? I guess I'm asking, kind of take me through your process of everything. What brings it to life? How do you create it? And how do you go about making it happen?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. I honestly, I'm always in the mood to create, to be honest, but I think I've been creating and writing so much over the last 10 years, 12 years, is that I'll write, but everything won't be written for Apple Music or to be put out on, display or whatever. It's just to get it out. But the process it varies. I'll say that it varies because there's a lot of times where I'll hear something and it could be another song. It could be an instrumental. I could be at church and I can hear something from the pastor. I can be in mid conversation with my wife and she'll say something. I'm like, ooh. So it really, I'm inspired by almost any and everything that strikes a nerve for me in a good way or a not so good way. And what I like to do, I'm very technical with my craft, with my writing. I'm big on syllables. I'm big on rhymes. I'm big on internal rhymes. And I know people may be listening like, well, what's that? If you tap into the music, you hear it, right? I go about my writing in a way. So with Lyricist, they have a flow. I am very, very, that'd be like my superpower. If I was a superhero, I'm like, what's the superpower? My flow, right? The way I deliver the words and put them together and create this visual for you is my superpower. And so I use my strength to the best of my ability. I know that I can flow. I know what I want to write about.
I'm sorry to butt in, but I want to point out, not only do you just flow, you use big words. You make things work that I'm like, how did he make those two words work? How do you do that? I was really impressed. I was like, this is good.
It's really a project for me. It really is a project for me. It's like that kid that's trying to, complete the 1,000-piece puzzle. And you can see he's doing it. He's almost done. He's dedicated. Okay, leave him alone. He's got it. I really enjoy the process. Sometimes it'll take a day. Sometimes it'll take 2 days. Sometimes it'll take a week. Sometimes it'll take a month. sometimes I'll hear something and I'm like, oh, I got something for this. And I can write something fresh in 30 minutes and have it. That's not always the case. Like, I know some artists are very consistent with their approach. I'm consistent with my approach in the fact that I know how I'm going to deliver it. I already know how I'm going to deliver it, right? I know what I want to deliver. I know how I'm going to deliver. I know what I want to deliver. Now it's just piecing it together, right? What am I going to start with, right? If I'm talking about money, I could start off with like something simple like I need more money. All right, who doesn't, right? But I could start off by saying
relatable for everyone.
Right, related. Duke Energy called again, man. They tripping. I need to get these bills up. I've been slipping. Like what that right there paints a picture of like, ooh, there's a lot of us that got Duke that Duke Energy. That Duke Energy calling, or you see that bill overdue, or anybody who's had a bill overdue can relate. And so I can piece that at the front. Okay, bills. All right, they listen. I'm a working man. I got bills. I'm out here doing my grown up stuff. All right, and I talk about my daughter. Maybe she needs her tuition for dance needs to be paid. I can put that in there. So now the topics around money and being relatable are in the piece. They're in the song, right? And I may start off with writing simple, like I need more money. Tanner, which is my daughter's name, her tuition needs to be paid. I can write it as simple as that, and then I'll go back and look at what I wrote and write it again, but in the way that I would rap it. And so I'm open to just try new things. I really don't. I'll have a pen and a pad. I'll have my phone. If I don't have anything and I got a napkin and a crayon, I will make it work.
I like that you just take a simple sentence and almost turn it into a haiku in a way. Like you just find a way like, I'm going to make this actually pop off the page.
Yeah. I mean, I love the creative aspect of it. And I'll even say just writing in general. When I was in undergrad, my senior year, I was finishing up my papers, these last few assignments, and I got an A on my last assignment, on my last paper. And I remember the teacher emailed me personally and was just saying, hey, I just wanted to commend you on a job well done on your paper. Like your writing would definitely serve you well in grad school. Now, this is academic writing that we're talking about, undergrad, I got to pass these courses. And so that right there was just another level of confirmation for me that, okay, I have something here. So now with the music, I explored in any way that I feel like I need to go. To be honest with you, I do exercises. Like I'll go onto Google and I'll look up spoken word exercises for writing, metaphor exercises, personification exercises, like taking two things that don't even relate or have any correlation at all and making them connect somehow. Like those type of, I go as deep as I can to pull out the best creative, most intricate, pieces of work and just put them all together to make them look like, hey, this is what I did. Like I'm the kid that you give the Legos to with no instructions and then leave me alone for about an hour and come back and here's the Titanic. Like, all right.
I like that you said spoken word. I feel like I'm going to age myself on this, but I think the last time in spoken word was even popular was probably in the 90s when they used to have Def Jam. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I remember that. To be honest with you, though, spoken word is alive and well.
Good.
Yeah, it is.
Good.
If anything, it's grown from that. Now, man, like I said, that's how I got started. That's how I got started even into music it was poetry, high school, just writing things out, and then spoken word groups, and then into music. And now it's kind of like, oh, there's so much that I can do with writing. Like, honestly, I'm not even sure if this will be the last stop. I may
keep growing.
I may look into some jingles for commercials or some movies, or I don't know. I'm willing to try it though. I'm willing, from my academic writing, from my creative writing, from me rapping and writing for other people, writing hooks and stuff for groups that I used to be in. There's something there. There's something there.
I love that. I love hearing that.
For sure.
I was going to say, I really appreciate you sharing your creative process behind everything. I want to kind of get into some of the technical aspects of it all. Yeah. Let's talk about Checks. Let's talk about the new single that's out right now. What is Checks to you? And what was the process like for you to pull the beats together, to do your spoken word, to write your lyrics, to compose it all, and then finalize it and put it out there so that we can listen to it?
The whole thing behind Checks was, as of the last 3 going on 4 years, I have been growing, I've been growing my knowledge in financial literacy. I've been investing more. I have been using my time more wisely. I've been using my money a little bit more wisely. And even to the point where I'm teaching my kids at random moments about just everyday things. Like when me and my son go to the grocery store, I'm like, hey, this all cost $10. I gave her 20. How much I get back? Those little moments, everything that just happens to be money related throughout the day, I've been thinking about it differently. And even having a family, obviously, you think about it differently.
Yeah, I
And
gotta
so,
learn how to stretch that dollar.
man,
It's the
stretch it.
first thing I learned.
Yeah, or stretch it and find more. Stretch it and find more to add to it. But that was really what checks came to be about. Is my current view on money for me personally, right? I have invested more in the last 3 years than I've ever in my life. I've learned more through investing than ever. So it was really about, like I said, it's really about moving forward financially, moving my family forward financially, and I paint this picture of me just being me. Like I said, an educator. I mentioned that. Being a dad, being a husband, I mentioned that all in the song. But the hook goes clearing another check while these niggas buying checks. Kids in check, got the juice and it's fresh. Now they say you the man. They used to say, boy, you a mess. Now they say you the man. They used to say, boy, you a mess. That's my whole view. Like clearing another check. All right. The household we just made some money. Right. We just had another check come through. Whether it been whatever, my wife was doing or working with her business or whatever I was doing and working in my business. And my daughter has a business, whatever she sells jewelry. So whatever she's bringing, we just cleared another check. We just got some money, whatever it was, $20, $200, $2,000. We just got some more while these niggas buying checks. Now we know that in the hip hop culture, fashion is very big. And so when we mean buying another check, we're talking about Nike. So a lot of people and a lot of people who are not as financially literate or, savvy when it comes to their spending and budgeting, a lot of us, especially in the Black community, would push, looking good, looking like we have it versus actually having it. And so
Makes sense. I get
this
that.
is not a shot at anybody who's buying checks because I got on Nikes right now. It's about all my shoes are Nikes. But, it's really more so like I want to invest. I want to clear another check. And I want to make sure that the focus isn't just buying checks, right? I want that to be like so what? I bought checks today versus that being the main focus. Kids in check, right? My kids, they're not cheap. I don't think anybody's are. I don't think anybody.
I feel your pain. I just have one. You've got four, so I
got 4 kids, man. I got
oh
4
man, I can
kids.
only imagine.
But I laugh through it all, smile through it all because I'm learning so much through it. But financially, with 4 kids as a man, hey, you gotta have it together. You know what I'm saying? And my oldest is 6.
You're a provider, understand?
Yeah, you're a provider. My oldest is 6, and he's active. My oldest daughter, she's active. So we want to make sure that they're taken care of and they can do the things. They can go to basketball practice and dance and football and soccer, and we don't have to sit around and worry about, what about this? What about that? We're going to make, so that was that whole thing, was making sure that, I'm not talking about throwing money in the club. I'm not talking about, buying all the bottles and like, I ain't got nothing against it. I mean, just for me personally in my life right now, that's just not, I can't relate to that. So I'm not going to speak on it. I'm not going to act like, that's kind of like clickbait or just, something to get views and to get listens. I'm really trying to be authentic and genuine with this song Checks because, money hasn't always been there. Money has been there. I've experienced a good bit of both of being broke, waiting those 2 weeks or waiting 4 weeks.
Been there, yeah.
I've been on it where I'm like, hey, yo, yeah, mortgage is taken care of, lights taken care of, gas take, like, you want to get your feet done? Yeah, go. Like, I've been on that type of time too, so I've been on, I've been in both spaces and I know where I want to be. let's put it like, I know where I want to stay. I know where I want my family to be. And so checks is just a highlight of like, hey man, get to the money, be smart about it, manage it well. And if you're somebody like me who is a leader in the community, a leader in the classroom, in the household, right? People depend on you emotionally, spiritually, financially, in any other type of way, right? Like there's a lot that we want to do in life, but let's be real. If you're living in America under any administration,
right,
in this economy, I mean, you gotta have the bag behind you. you gotta have the bag behind. There's a lot of things that have been brought to me as like, hey, can you think we can do that? Or what do you think about? Or can I? I'm all for it, but you know me, I gotta what's the price? What's the bag looking like? Let me check the account, or let me see if we can move some things. That's where I am with it. I'm all for a lot, but like I said, for any grown man, grown woman really pushing and trying to do things in America, you got to have some type of financial backing.
Yep.
Whether it's your own capital or friends and family, or you inherited something, whatever the case may be. Like, it's not anything that's free really out here when it comes to being a full grown adult in America.
Normally, I usually ask kind of the financial gains of everything, and I know that you're still discussing your process through creating checks, but I kind of want to bring this question in as well, so you can answer off of this and continue on. But you just said it yourself. It's about investing in yourself, investing in your own work, finding the money and the finance. Have you had any kind of financial gain out of this? Has any of this been paying off for you, whether it's in physical monetary form or just as an experience? Has there been a financial gain for you?
There's definitely been a financial gain. I won't lie and say that it hasn't been, right? It definitely has been, but it's growing, right? Every you have to start somewhere, and I'm grateful for where it started. It's not where I wanted to be, but we're still moving and we're still shaking with things. I will say though, the number one tool that I have been using to fund a lot of this studio time, invest in the equipment, purchasing beats, all right, gas, right? I just had a show in South Carolina, right? Gas, that's always questionable too. And so the one tool that I've been using has been investing through the foreign exchange market, or also known as Forex to some people. And, I'm a part of a group, a solid team. Shout out to LYMG, Leap Year Money Group. And we are a collective that has been, really been pushing us for the past 3 years and working together on learning the financial markets, right? Knowing when is the best time to buy, when is the best time to sell, understanding the terminology, like really diving deep. And so with the money that I've been receiving from, that side of investing, I've been able to use it to purchase, that studio time, to get gas, or to go and not even outside of music, but just pay bills. All right.
Yeah.
Treat my lady.
Investing wisely. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that teacher check, a good bit of that can sit, if I'm getting a good bit from investments, or vice versa, I can swap. And so that's why I was saying that when it came to checks, my whole outlook and my view on money is different now, because I've paid a lot of bills off of investing, and I paid a lot of bills off of my regular check. And just for that to be, what it is, I'm like, oh, I have options now, right? If I use this for bills, and this could really be invested, right? Mm-hmm. This could really, really be invested in what I'm trying to do. And so it's been paying well. The music has been doing great. I did take a little bit of a break, just life, right? I gotta
have a breather every now and then.
Yeah, I have 4 kids and I got a wife, and they are the most important thing to me outside of everything that I'm doing. Yeah, just making the investments, because a lot of times I know before I started investing, any money that I use for studio equipment or for studio time or gas or purchasing beats, right, that was earned money from your day job, right? And a lot of times that could have held off, that could have waited, or I didn't take care of certain things first before I purchased that beat, or before I booked that studio time, or whatever the case may be. And, at that time I didn't have as many responsibilities, but I can't afford that now, right? I can't afford to take food out of my kids' mouths, or to move money away from the family in order to do something for me personally. So the fact that I am investing, that I have my 9-to-5 check, and I have these other avenues, right? When money is coming in like this, the doors kind of open up and the options present themselves as well. You can go this route, or you can do this, or you can do that. And so, I'm not being too specific because it's different for different people.
Right.
But, with a family of 6, a household of 6, every penny, every dime, every dollar, we're going to count it. We're going to budget it. We're going to invest it. We're going to make it shake. We're going to put some to the side.
You got to find what works for you.
Absolutely.
And I really appreciate you. I know we jumped around a little bit, and I'm sorry about that, but I felt that it was appropriate to go ahead and bring up the financial discussion, because the whole theme of your song that's out, it felt appropriate. And I really appreciate you diving into that for me. And I was going to ask you about your technical process. Like, do you create your own beats? And you answered that, you buy these beats, you have your studio equipment. Can you take me through your technical process too on the how you get access to your beats, maybe who you use, the program that you use to put it all in? Because we know that you write your own lyrics, that you create that process. We heard about that. We know that you invest in the time and the energy into the equipment that you need. Kind of talk about your studio. Talk about the actual creating process of putting it all down digitally, so that we could hear it.
Yeah, that's the fun part. I do have a studio in my house, but it's nothing compared to like the places that I go to record to get more of a finished and final product.
Tell us about your own personal studio. Let the listeners know what kind of program you use, what they can look into.
So the programming that I do use, and it's just for me as an artist, is Studio One. I do make beats, but it's really just like dibble and dabble, and it's nothing to that I'm pushing as I am as an artist, but I do make those beats. I use Studio One. I do have one of the MIDI keyboards, and I have
a little mixer keyboard.
Yeah, so some different plugins that I'll pull up, and different drums and different stuff like that or I'll program different pads to add effects to my voice, or different things like that. But outside of that part, I have my lyrics right in my phone or in my notebook. And what I like to do is when I have the beat and I have it pulled up into the program, I just give it some time, right? I'll play it, I'll put a loop on, and I just listen to it. Like I've heard it before, but now that I have it coming out of my monitors, my speakers, I want to get that feel, because it feels a lot different listening to a track or a song in the car versus on your phone, right? You hear more of the instrumentation, you hear more of the little intricacies with the melodies and different
all
beats.
Depends on the speakers it's coming out of.
You could really be missing out on a lot if you're not careful. But I listen to it and I'm going over, I'm reading my lyrics, I'm reading my lyrics on my phone or my notebook, and then I go. And depending on how I'm feeling, it may take one take. I may do the hook first and then stop, listen to the hook a couple of times. If I like it, great. If it's good for like right now, again, I'm a father of 4. And so while I'm doing this, right, I don't have a good 3-4 hours just to sit here and,
right.
I have to be very effective and efficient, right? Because there might be a diaper that needs to be changed. There may be something that broke. There may be 2 of them running around. One of them may have gotten hit in the eye with something because they being mean, and you know how it could be. So I have to be.
The struggle is real.
Yeah, but I appreciate it though, because like I said, household of 6. I'm needed for something at any given time, and it's always going to come before music, before my job, before just about any and everything, because this is what I do it for. But nonetheless, I'm grateful for that, because it helps me to be sharp, right? It helps me to really stay true to the craft and to take it even more seriously because of my time. And that comes with sacrifice as well, because I did the music, the writing is something that I do want to do, but I'm gonna always take care of my family beforehand. I'm always take care of my family and what
priorities.
Yeah, absolutely. The priorities. And what it does is it gives me the opportunity to grow as a man and to really take hold of the reins and control what I can control with my time, with my energy, and how much I'm putting into whatever I'm focusing on at that moment. But, as I get in there and I'm being effective and I'm being efficient, like I said, I'll lay down a hook. I'll listen to the hook. If it's great or if it's okay for what I'm doing right now, I'll keep it. And I'll come back to things like the next day or the next 2 days. Like I said, the timing thing, you do the most that you can with whatever you got. Do as much as you can with whatever you got. That's just an investment tip.
Right? Time management.
Yeah, you do the most you can with what you got.
It's funny because it's almost like you're not a perfectionist by choice. It's more so a perfectionist by force.
Yeah,
because you have to take advantage of that time and get it right every time.
I have to. And you just to kind of go back, my earlier days, new father, new husband. That wasn't always the case, and so there was a lot of uncomfortable conversations with wifey. It was a lot of realizations. Right, if I'm really gonna do this, be the husband and be a father, and not just say it. Like I have to actually. Not that I wasn't doing it, but my wife can tell you I'm very passionate. Whatever I get into, I'm very passionate. And the poetry, the writing, the music, I'm super passionate about. And early on when it was just me and her, there's a lot of times where, it became, is it me or is it music? Is it me or is it music? And, as most women would feel, they don't want their guy to be choosing between her or the music. So, but, through me growing, I understood that, like, there's no problem with me doing music, but I can't just be all about music if I have a lady. I can't be all about music if I have a family. But that time management, that balance has to come into play. So I'm in there.
I feel you on that. That's how it is for me with this podcast. I have to make sure that my girlfriend and my son, that I'm giving them the same amount of time that they need. And
Right.
it's with every couple, anyone that's dating an artist or married to an artist,
Yeah.
they understand what you're trying to do and what you're doing. And you, as the artist, need to also communicate with them, like what's happening, what's going on, what you need, while also giving them what they need. And it's all about communication and time management, making it work.
You create that time.
If they truly love you and you love them, they'll support you and you will support them.
Absolutely. And that has been the case for me. You communicate and you create. You create that time, you create those moments, you create those opportunities to do that for them and for yourself. And like you said, you communicate, right? So that everybody's on the same page, everybody's on one accord, and that everybody is getting the support that not only they need, but they deserve. Because, my wife is one of my biggest inspirations, my children, biggest inspirations and muse for what I do. And so
when it comes through in the music, you can hear
it. There's no need for those two to be at odds or clashing or, we can all be in harmony with this. And I'm growing more and more into that. I'm in it now, but more and more into it now in this stage of my life as a father, husband, artist, educator. Now that I've kind of gone through a little bit of those, a little bit of turbulence through all of that early stages of, being a married man and a younger father, new father, trying to balance all of that. I've gotten a little bit of groove, a little bit of a rhythm, and I've gotten better. And so like I said, I know what I want. I know what I want to do. I know how I want to approach things. And so a lot of times when I'm in that garage, I know what's going on in the house. I know wifey may be cooking. I know the kids may be playing. And so at that time, it may be a 15-minute time window that I have. All right, cool. I got a verse. I got one verse. I got a hook, or I got two verses, and I got the hook and a little something at the end. Let me just get through that. A lot of times for me, I got to get into the mic. Let me get it into the mic. And I can come back and dress it up how I want to. All right. There are some artists who can, like Drake used to have this thing called One Take Drake, where he'd get on the mic off a fresh verse that he wrote and kill it in one take. And you would think that, it wasn't a new verse. It'd be old or something that he had memory or whatever the case may be. Sometimes I can do that. Sometimes, depending on the topic of the song, how the instrumental is sounding, what emphasis I want to place on certain words. And I think about all of that, right? If I'm not hearing it how I hear it in my head, I'll just leave it in there and I'll come back the next day, or I'll come back, after I'm done changing that diaper or whatever the case may be. And I try to, get it to where I hear it.
Right. So you were talking about too, we were talking, the technical aspect of everything that you do. You use Studio One as it's the program that you use to record through. Do you also do your editing through that as well?
I do. Yep.
Okay.
I
awesome.
do everything through Studio One. And I use Studio One because when I first purchased studio equipment, I had no idea what I was doing. I went online.
Like most of us.
Yeah. I think it might have been like Amazon or some music's online store, something water. Either way, I would go and just look at different things because I realized I wanted to do this. I wanted to do some more music. I wanted to just, experiment with it. But I'm like, I know people that got the equipment at their house. It can't be too bad. And I'm looking, I'm pricing everything. And I'm like, whoo. Thank God I'm investing now.
Right. I like that you said that too. Like you knew that you wanted to do this. And I think for any artist out there listening, when you know that this is what you want to do, this is the path you want to go down, take your time to invest in the proper equipment that you'll need. It doesn't have to be expensive. You don't need the most expensive, nicest equipment out there. I've had many guests like you, Trell, who have been on here and have said the same thing. I found what was in my budget, what was affordable and reasonable. Just look for what can work for you. Learn that program, master it, and you're going to be amazing. Yeah. Because you are the creative process. You are what it needs.
Yeah. I agree.
You don't need it. It needs you.
Absolutely. You said it perfectly. And, at that, like I said, at that time, I didn't know what I was looking for. I didn't know what type of monitors or speakers and the microphones and the interface. Like, I didn't know which one. So I think I came across like a package deal where it had
Right.
just about all of that in it. And I went to like Guitar Center and just bought some monitors that were on sale, right? Like I said, in a garage, not a big fancy studio with
Yeah.
a separate booth, like something for like a desk, and it's portable, right? I could take it to my job if I needed to, right? So it was really like that. And so what I realized is that me going that route, looking at all of the equipment and pricing it out and getting something that was within my budget and something that I could figure out kind of easily, it worked well for me. It worked well for me because I got it set up to a point where all I needed to do was pull up the program and record.
I love
And
it.
I started
Simple.
learning. Yeah, I started learning the different edits and effects. I throw those in there. And what that did for me is it gave me a foundation for my own creative process. And I say that because there are some songs that I have recorded at my house that I've sent to engineers to mix and master and put the effects on and have it ready for to be released. But I've also been in studios where that whole experience is just different from recording at your house and then having it sent to an engineer. Like your engineer and your producer, for most people, are in there with you. And to have that experience, for them to have that ear and have some experience with you as an artist, so they kind of
Yeah. That's
understand
awesome.
the type of time you're on, what you're talking about, the type of artist you are. They hear certain things that I may not always hear because I'm in the booth, I'm rapping, but they're listening. And it's very difficult for me to do both at the same time, rap and listen. So it's a different experience. It's a more rewarding experience because you have the camaraderie of everybody in there that's working together. You have, in me particular, you have that team. I'm a part of a team, and we're all on the same page. We're all pushing the same agenda, and so when we go in there, the confidence is at an all-time high for me. And I'll go over everything that I did at home, and now that I laid that foundation, I know exactly how I want it to sound in the studio with a real professional mixing and mastering it and adding all of the sauce and the flavor because I did all of that at home like a rookie. I did the
Right.
best that I
Trade
could.
secrets. Don't give it away.
Right, I know what I wanted to sound like at home. Even and a lot of times it's never what I hear it to be, but it's pretty close. And so when I have that, I make my notes, I'm listening to it, I have a reference. So when I go into the studio and I'm recording, I'm like, hey, this is what I did at home, right? The sounds, the effects right here at the end of this chorus or a hook, the emphasis or the echo that I had right here on that word, like I want it like that. And so, the engineers that I've worked with in the past, I mean, they're super talented. They got a crazy resume as far as their work. So it's nothing to them. Like, oh yeah, we do that. You wanted it right here, you want it right there. They'll mix it and do it all while playing the music, all while I'm rapping and recording. And by the time I get done, they're like, all right, let's listen to it. And it sounds amazing. It sounds crisp. It's clean. It's cutting through. Those effects and those different elements are right where I practiced them and placed them when I was at home.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm very, to any artist out there, if you're able to, to purchase that equipment or to get some used equipment that still works, I would say get that, do that, and practice on your own. Because a lot of times studios, they cost, right? You're paying for the time and you're paying for the equipment and the engineer in there. And so
Yeah. Once again, investing.
if you don't have a song finished or if you didn't have any quite idea of how you're going to go about it, sometimes that time trying to figure that out is taken up in the studio. And unless you're like a Beyonce or something who could just have a studio booked out for like a whole month or a week or something, somebody like me and other people, 2 hours at a time, 3 hours at a time. Like I said, I know how quick a year goes by. I got 4 kids. So I know these 2 hours, I got to be on it. And so I do all of that at home. So by the time I get into the studio, on most occasions, when I get into the studio, I already know I get my verses, I get my hooks in there, I put my ad libs. And then when it comes to the effects, I got a reference from my engineer and our producer. And I memorize. I'm like, hey, do you think you could tweak that? Put that echo or drag that out or take out the bass part right here and then throw it back. Like all of those different pieces that people hear and think, oh, this is cool, this is dope, this is that, like that technical side of it. I've practiced it at home, not practicing so I can do it for myself and other people, but practicing so when I get to the studio, because the studio has that sound that's going to give me that sound that I'm looking for, that I know I can produce through their equipment. I give it to them, and it turns it into magic every
I love
time.
that.
Every time, I'm just like, and I want to learn how to mix and master. I really do, but that's more time I have to take out to learn how to do that. And I don't mind. I think it'll come eventually, but like my plate is pretty full, and I'm pretty busy. And I think, I'm gonna play into my strength right now for rapping and writing. But
Right.
I do make beats. I do make beats. I am a beat maker, but I will forever be dibbling, dabbling, and working on that foundation. Until it gets to the point where, honestly, it may get to a point where I could do all of this at home and just and go to the studio just because, and not just to get that sound. It'd be great to create that sound in house, like at my house, versus going out to the studio.
Well, and that's what it's all about too. That's the
Yeah.
process you go through. That's, you've shared with us the creative process, your creative process, your
Yeah.
technical process, and how that led you into getting into a studio and getting even better, having better equipment, more experienced people. It's all about growth. It's all about bettering yourself, for lack of better words.
Right.
And I really appreciate you sharing all that with me. And my last little question here about checks is, you explained to us how time management is essential for you, and you only have so much time. But how much time would you say it took you to just this one single, just for checks alone? How much time would you say, if you added it all up, did it take you to complete this from beginning to end, from the moment you started writing it to the moment you put it out?
I would say 2 days.
Not
I
bad.
say 2 days because I can't take full credit for every lyric in checks. I had somebody that came up with the hook. One of my associates, my business partners, by the name of Kirk Rich. He's also crazy creative.
Shout out to Kirk.
And the whole team. He actually had the hook, and we had the beat. And he was like, "Yeah, I was thinking about this hook right there." He gave the hook. He threw it out there, like said it. And I was like, "So let me get this straight." So I tried to like rap it and like put it in song format. He's like, yeah, like that. So I just typed it down on my phone. Then came the verse, right? Then came my verses after that. So he took care of the hook. I took care of the verses. But I would say 2 days. And just over a span of like a little bit here in the morning, a little bit here in the afternoon. And then the next day, same thing. And then just kind of piecing it together, getting it in there. I usually work like that. Well, I'll have a verse or a hook or both, and then I won't go back to it for like another day or another 2 days with the second verse or third. Most people don't do 3 verses anymore.
That's fair.
Attention spans are not the same. But
I just love that you share all this with me, because like one of my favorite things about this show is when I get to interview different musicians. I've had on a punk band, I've had on a pop artist, I've had on you, a hip hop artist, a lyricist. Everyone has their own unique process when it comes to music, because it's about the music. It's how they go about creating it. Everyone is different. You don't have to do it this way. Do it your way. And I love hearing how everyone has their own unique style, their own unique process. So thank you for sharing that, man. I really appreciate it.
No problem at all.
Hey, just taking a quick break here. I hope you've enjoyed the conversation so far, where we've talked to Trell all about his new single, Checks. Trell has been kind enough to gift us with the song to play right here on IPA for you to hear. And please go out there, find Checks, find his other music right there on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, Tidal, wherever you can find music, you can find Trell Brooks. And you can find his new single, Checks. Check it out.
Trip with a few spliffs in the new whip, yeah, I'm gassed up. Foot on the pedal as I check the schedule. Damn, Brody, know we next up. From the generation come the realization that the greed that we got might be outdated. Gotta stay creative with the way I'm making. Got too many babies to be chillin' lazy. Look, nigga, I really do this. 4 in the morning, getting the kids moving. Getting food on the move to the north side where I teach and I reach for the goals and the students. Black man, low-key, hot-key, ruthless. When I'm on the mic-y, I might go stupid. When I'm in the crib, I might go hooping. My daughter got a business selling her own jewelry. Boy, too busy to be all in the mix. Firecracker farts, I'ma pop my shit. Hit the ground running, I can see the hurdles coming, but it really ain't nothing like a check, I'ma clear. God gave a gift, so you know I gotta give it. Getting elevated, you can tell by my spirit. Nigga, this is man cave music, ain't no way that we losing when it's time to put it on for the village. Yeah. Nigga, this is man cave music. Ain't no way that we losing when it's time to put it on for the village. Yeah. Clearing another check while these niggas buying checks. Kids in check, got the juice and it's fresh. Now they say you the man, they used to say, boy, you a mess. Now they say you the man, they used to say, boy, you a mess. Clearing another check while these niggas buying checks. Kids in check, got the juice and it's fresh. Now they say you the man, they used to say, boy, you a mess. Now they say you the man, they used to say, boy, you a mess. Deep couch sitting Sundays, meditating on the week. Always been 10 toes down, just getting back on my feet. I linked up with the bros, a nice beverage and a beat. Leave him frozen with the coldest, still bring heat when he speak. Look, don't you forget on this journey, your boy had been hit with some shit. Mama was hospitalized for the blood that was clotting, another unfortunate risk. Wifey been stressing about losing connection, can't build us a home if we missing some bricks. Granddaddy dealing with lung cancer, as I'm flipping through channels and smoking a split. Need to get me a grip. The gig that I'm in hasn't really been fulfilling. Losing sight of the man that I was in the core in the mirror, I'm looking too different. In the midst of all of these children, uplifting their spirit, yet mine in the trenches. On the road, let's travel, will come with some battles. Despite all your travel equipment, my nigga, let's get it. Can't be stuck in the dumps for forever, I'm up, man, enough is enough. Still running it up, as long as there's breath in my body, I might as well keep showing out and I keep showing up. Foot on their neck while I stand there and flex, collecting a check, can't be humble enough. God never gave me this greatness to be so complacent, the pavement, I'm burning it up. Pacing through this kitchen as I write this verse. Strep throat conversations, a lot to say, though it hurts. Measure my frequency frequently, no matter the hurts. I know some folks that got my back like I'm about to birth. One of my fears is some of these kids ending up on shirts. So while I got them, I'ma show them how to know their worth. Don't care for placements, the first is last and the last is first. Faith without works is dead. While I'm alive, come get this work.
Don't care for placements, the first is last and the last is first. Faith without works is dead. While I'm alive, come get this work.
Once again, that was Checks by Trell Brooks. Thank you, Trell, for giving us this song to play right here for everyone. Listeners, please go out there, find Trell's music, support him, show him some love. The man has got a gift. And be sure to stick around for after the session. Trell was kind enough to provide us with one more song to check out. And now, back to the conversation. I want to get into some questions now. I want to ask you a few fun things. I want to ask you about the ups and downs. So my first question for you is, what's the biggest challenge you had to overcome? And maybe it's, you're still working on it.
Yeah, the biggest challenge that I had to overcome, and I think I spoke a little bit on it earlier before, was just the time management and the balance, being a family man and being an artist, and knowing that I am such a passionate leader with everything that I do that, and like I said, I'm doing a better job with it nowadays than I was years ago. But it's still tough because my children are growing. My wife is growing. I'm growing. We're all growing. And so there's different parts of us that need different things. And a lot of times, where I find myself wanting to work on music or write or do something for Instagram or do something for the team. I have to be mindful of my kids and my wife and how important they are, right? And how much of a priority they are. And making sure that I'm tending to them on every level. Like I'm an educator as well, so I'm always teaching my children. But that time management and balancing family, work, and really being an artist was probably the most difficult thing, alongside finances, right? Because
Right.
I came out of college doing music, and I didn't have much saved up. If anything, I didn't land a job where I was smooth off the bat, 80, 90K a year, anything like that. And so I didn't have any money. And at that time coming out of college, I had a kid on the way. And so I was trying to, get myself together and get prepared for that. But, I would, as much as I'm talking about the family and the finances and the balance, it's never been a burden. My family has never been a burden. They have never been anything that has held me back or held me down. If anything, I've gotten so much better overall as an artist, as a man, as an educator, as a person because of my family. But because I take that role and I take those hats that I wear so seriously, I have to take my mental health as seriously. I have to take my physical health as seriously, my finances as seriously. And so with all of that, it comes that balance, and it can be difficult. It's easier said than done. But I've had some great people in my corner. I've had some great support, and I've been able to manage very well navigating through that. I'm sure there'll be new challenges next week, tomorrow, next year. But I'm
always
not.
something.
Yeah, it's always something. I'm not shying away from it though.
I was gonna say, you know what though, I actually like that answer because a lot of people probably don't even think about time management, and it is a huge challenge, especially as someone who is a family man or family woman, any artist out there that has other priorities out there besides their creativity and their artwork, is that time management, figuring all that out. And that can be a huge challenge. And to be able to overcome that, and even still, like you said, you're also at the same time you've overcome it, but you're also still kind of working on it because something new always pops up and you got to work around it. You got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And speaking of something coming up, I want to ask you, what is something unexpected you had to face? And maybe it's something that you actually learned right then and there in the moment. You're aware of what you're doing, you're aware of what you're creating, but sometimes things just pop up that catch you off guard.
I will honestly say the reactions that I have been getting as of lately, the reactions to the music, to the movement, to just everything that people have been seeing me do, I wasn't expecting that. And I'll say that because people have known that I've been doing music and spoken word and all of that, but I had stepped away a little bit, and I was thinking that people may only know me or just kind of refer to me as the family man or the dad or the teacher and kind of shy away from the artist. But as soon as I started posting about my upcoming show at that point, it already passed. I had a show last weekend in South Carolina and new music coming out. I had people that were reaching out to me personally and through, social media.
That always feels good, doesn't it?
Man, hey man, I'm glad that you're still performing. I'm glad that you're still doing music. It's great to know that you're still, hey, I can't make it to South Carolina. Let me know when you got a Charlotte show. It's been a while since I've performed. It's been maybe a couple of years. And like I said, I still been doing music, but I just haven't been in front of people. I haven't just been out traveling and networking and going to different events and really creating, music to just flood, streams and everything. I haven't really been on that. So as of lately, as of the past month or so, the past few weeks, we've been hitting the ground running. And so I wasn't expecting that off gate, with me kind of just getting back into the flow of things how I was before. Some people were just like, yeah, man, I'm glad you're still writing. I'm glad you're still making music. It's good to see that, man. I'm really happy for you on that. Keep pushing. I always rock with what you were doing. People that are family members, people that I went to school with, people who live down the street from me growing up, who are reaching out to me and saying this. And I'm like, wow, it feels good.
Yeah, you're getting instant feedback and support from people you probably weren't even expecting that from. That's awesome.
And that's what it was. I wasn't expecting it at all. And it was kind of like, please let me know.
I love when I ask this question and I get a positive answer. So that's awesome. I'm glad that you had a good, unexpected situation.
Yeah,
positive
I can appreciate those. I can appreciate those for sure.
All right. I want to move this along. My next question for you is, what's a hard reality that you've had to deal with and accept? Something discouraging that you can't do anything about it. It is what it is, and you had to push through it. Or maybe you did find a way to resolve it. But it's a hard reality. It's a fact of life. Nothing can be done about it. You just work around it or work with it.
You know what? A hard reality is one thing that I had to accept and face is that I'm in control of my energy and what I put out. It's not so much of a hard reality, but the hard reality was the fact that I have pride, right? And I think most people do, but speaking man to man, men can have a lot of pride at times, and
we are prideful, yeah. And it's hard to admit that.
It's hard even now. Just saying it's like I got pride. Yeah, I got pride. But I am a prideful man. I have the great kind of pride, when it comes to family, when it comes to the work you do in the community. I have that pride, but I also have that pride where if I'm on a roll, my confidence is super high. The day has just been going great. Me and my wife are just on good terms. My kids are listening. My students are I could have one of those days. And then I will carry that energy. And the moment that something slightly off from all of that happens, it was almost like a humbling experience. Like, slow your roll. Don't get too prideful. You're not too good to listen to your wife. You're not too good to not listen from her direction, or you're not too good to not be present in your kids. Like, don't get too big headed. You know what I'm saying? I've
Stay
had a
humble.
hard, yeah, but in a way where you're staying humble, but you're not losing your confidence. You're not losing that self assurance or that belief in yourself and knowing what you're capable of and knowing that you can do more. But there's been a lot of times where I've gotten on that high horse as a man, as a father, as a husband, and have quickly been like, yeah, bring it down, bring it down. Like, my wife is,
Right.
I love her. I love her to death. I love her to life. I really do. And, one thing I can appreciate about her, she's more vocal than me. She's more emotive and expressive, as a lot of women are. But, I appreciate it because I'm not like that. As I stated earlier, I'll do all that through the music. But, as I'm getting older, it can't just be me vocalizing things and expressing things only through music, especially as a grown married man with kids who's handling business on a lot of levels. I got to be able to have those hard conversations too, and not just be able to have them or hint at them or kind of navigate through them through music. I need to be able to sit down and embrace everything that I'm feeling, whether it's good, not so good. Hear what I need to hear, say what I need to say, but also know that this isn't anything that's setting me back. Right? Everything is forward. Everything is learn, apply, adapt. Everything is smooth life, right? Working to get better. And so I can admit that I've had pride at times where I didn't want to say certain things. I didn't want to speak. I wanted to shy away from things, or I thought I might have been too good for, or whatever. I'm too busy at the moment. Like, there's been a lot of those instances, but that's the hard reality. It's like that pride. And J. Cole has a song called "Pride Is the Devil" featuring Little Baby, and that song speaks to me. He says pride is. He said, "Pride is the devil. I think it's got a hold on me." And he says, "Pride is the reason for the family dichotomy." Like, a lot of people don't want to say sorry. A lot of people don't want to admit when they're wrong. A lot of people think, they're too good to come around or to help out when they were helped. It's a lot of things that it just spoke to me through that song. And I was like, you know what? I realized that the more vulnerable that I was within reason and depending on the circumstance, the situation, the right environment, because you're not just going to see me vulnerable any and everywhere, but within reason, the more vulnerable I am, the more I'm able to express, more I'm able to have these tough conversations and to really navigate through life with communication and creativity versus just sticking to the music, really being with my family, being with my wife. The more I do that, the better off I'll be. The healthier I am emotion wise, the healthier I am mentally, the better my marriage is. That type of energy, my kids can pick up on that. They feed off it. They can see it, they can hear it, they can feel it. They have my 6-year-old, my 4-year-old, my 2-year-old, and my 9-month-old have no idea what's going on when it comes to stuff like that, but they're kids and they can feel that energy. And so with me being the head of my household and being a leader in everything that I do, I want to make sure that I'm not just growing the bag and getting my money up. I don't want to just grow the music and get my fans up in my streams. And I want to make sure I grow on the areas that people don't see every day, right? The areas that my wife sees, the areas that, my family, my mother and my father, my sister, my kid, those areas that people get to see on an everyday basis. I want to make sure that is not stagnant and complacent while everything else is taking off.
Right. I love that answer too. It's so cool too, because I like that your answer for a hard reality is me. It's me. I'm the obstacle sometimes in my way that I have to accept.
Yeah.
And a shout out to your wife, by the way, for being what sounds like to me the backbone to not just you and your family, but to your work as well, to your creative process, keeping you in check. Making sure that you stay not a good man, not a bad man, a true man. You stay true to who you are.
Yeah.
And I absolutely admire that. So shout out to your wife.
Shout out to you, baby.
Okay. I want to ask you now, and your wife cannot be the answer for this because we know she's the answer, but what is the most valuable takeaway that you've learned from your experience? Something that helped you grow and improve as an artist.
My most valuable takeaway, honestly, is as simple as this. Somebody needs it. Somebody needs
Brilliant.
it. I know what I'm talking about. I know the movement that I'm a part of. I know the agenda that we have going on. And it's really for the betterment of people, betterment of men, betterment of the Black community, of hip hop culture, of students, because I am an educator, for couples, fathers. I speak a lot to those demographics. And so the biggest takeaway is that whether I get a text about my music or a call about my music or I don't, somebody heard it. Somebody went to that show and got something and got something from you. Somebody streamed, checks, and was like, man, I needed to hear that. Somebody needs it. Somebody needed to hear it. Somebody's going to need to hear it at some point in time. And who am I to give the world, to give my community, to give my family, to give friends, be a disservice to them by not creating and not using what God has given me to bless others? Because that's really what it is. I'm only a vessel, and I've been blessed with the gift of writing and rapping at a very high elite level for the betterment of fathers, educators, men, the Black community. I mean, people who are trying to get their bag up, get their money up, and anybody that can just relate to whatever I'm talking about. Because I'm a Black man, but there's many aspects and different different things about us as Black men that are not always the same for all Black men. And so I'm shining light and opening the curtains into my life, what I'm about, and why I do what I do, and giving it to the people who are there to observe, who are there to critique, who are there to hate, or who are there to really get something. All right, because this is, as much as I want to make what I can from this. I want to travel and do what I can with this, but at the same time, I know there were certain songs from some of my favorite artists that just touched me and hit home for me in a different way versus a song that I may work out to, or I may, dance around the living room with my kids. All right. I'm doing this for those people who need just to hear something that is basically a soundtrack to some aspect of their life. And so that's my biggest takeaway. Do it for them.
I love that. Your biggest takeaway, your most valuable takeaway is that others find a valuable takeaway from that. They need it. I absolutely love that.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
And a lot of what you said, it's true. It's absolutely true. Everyone is unique. Everyone is different. And when you're a certain person within a certain community, you want to also try and make sure that they're being properly represented.
Absolutely.
I don't have much room to speak for myself. I'm a cis white man from the South. But at the same time, I can appreciate that. I can understand that. I can respect that. And also, I can gain knowledge from that. Sure. I can gain a valuable takeaway from your music because it allows me to take a moment to listen and appreciate something that I never considered or thought about.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, man.
Earlier we were talking about the unexpected, and you had, you weren't expecting such a great praise and appreciation from people that you cared about and people that you didn't even know. Yeah. But I want to ask you now, what did you actually expect from this project? What did you want out of being a lyricist, out of this new single Checks, out of your music in general? What did you want from this? What did you expect?
Honestly, it's two things. To really give my take on money and how I'm viewing it and my everyday life and what I'm dealing with right now, but to encourage others to go after their financial goals and I'm not going to say reintroduce myself, but this time that I've been away, quote unquote, been away, like just raising kids, having babies, do jobs, working busy, all that good stuff. I've been doing that. I kind of wanted to come back and be like, hey, this is what I've been up to. This is what I'm on. Like, I think the last time you guys saw me at a performance or the last time I did a show or put out any music, it was this. All right, this is what we were on. Not too much different from what we're doing now, but you hear a significant difference in what I was doing back then versus now. I'm more polished. You're talking about music from 22, 23, 24 years old. I'm 29 now, right? So we've had a good 5 years, of some heavy growth, really almost 7, because my son will be 7 in October. So I've really been doing this since, he was born. So almost 7 years of just like constant ups and downs and growth and, just new opportunities and, just things that we were able to do through networking and collaborations and different studios and events. And, now it's gotten to the point where, my kids are older. Me and my wife are really strong together, and I'm more focused than I've ever been with this. And so I want people I was expecting, and I want them to understand that Trell is that guy you want you want your son listening to when it comes to rap music. Like, you let your kids listen to rap music, you better be listening to Trell.
That's right. I love that. A very honest answer.
There better be some Trell in there. Turn it down if it ain't. That's what I want. But man, yeah, that's what it is, man.
Well, you know, this is my last big question for you, and it's very simple. I just want to know, man, what's your drive? What motivates you?
Ooh, that's a big question. Simple but big. My drive, and I say this all the time, and I got it out of a song. We are here for a good time, not a long time. Hey man, this may be my last interview. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow might be it. The next week maybe. I don't know. Right? We talked about time management. We talked about time earlier. That hasn't always been my drive, right? But in this point in my life, that is, because there's so much stuff going on in the world. I live in Charlotte. I'm in Charlotte right now. There's so much going around in Charlotte. There's so much going around everywhere in America that you just don't know. And so I've been waking up with more gratitude. I've been approaching the craft and everything in life with more gratitude, because even if I am stressed out, like, as crazy as this sounds, I get to be stressed out. Like, I'm alive to be stressed out.
It's a good feeling.
I find some type of positive in that, right? I find some type of joy in that, because I always tell my kids, I always tell my students and my wife, like, we're going through something. I'm like, it could be worse. Right? It could be worse than this. That is my drive, knowing that God woke me up again. Clearly, he's not done with me. Maybe I got this morning. Maybe I got the whole day. Maybe I got these next 3 months. I don't know. I can't see down the line or down the road what's to come. But while I still have this time, and I've been given this gift, I can create. I done had these opportunities. I done been on these podcasts and interviews. We making dope music. My family getting money. Oh, I'm about to run it up. We about to have a good old time. You know what I'm saying? We about to, I'm about to enjoy it until it's it. So that's my drive. That's my motivation. That's what gets me going, is knowing that, hey, I've been blessed. I got 2 boys, 2 girls. I got a great family. You know what I mean? I'm doing what I love as far as the education and being in the community and working with the kids. I have no complaints. I can have $0 in my wallet or in my bank account. I'll still have no complaints. And this is how I look at money now. I wasn't saying that a few years ago. When we talked about investments and everything. I know how to go get a bag, right? Legitly. Like, I know how to go get a bag, and I know how to take care of my family. I know how to create. I know how to put music together. I know how to do a lot. I mean, the life that I'm living right now is just, I'm undeserving of it. God has been too great, and I'm just thankful for everything that I've been able to experience, everything that I've been able to learn from and been able to do. Because a lot of times it could have been worse, and a lot of times that could have been it, right? This podcast or this interview probably would never happen, in a lot of cases. But I'm grateful. I am truly grateful for every single day, every opportunity that I get to kiss my wife before I go out to work, or that I get to play basketball with my son and teach him some moves, that I get to pick my daughter up in the air as she laughs, right? That's the drive.
It's those moments, man.
Yeah, I mean, I said it before, my wife, my family, but it's really them and everything that I'm just doing, man. I'm really on a mission. I live a mission and purpose-driven life. I'm not perfect, so I don't want people thinking that he's some preacher up here trying to, sell himself. But I really try to live within my purpose and let my ambition and my drive go through that, and bless and touch and reach and teach as many kids as I can and do what I can for my family. Because, as I stated when you first asked us, we are here for a good time, not a long time. And I know that my spirit will live longer than my flesh, and whatever I've done, whatever music I've made, whatever lesson I taught to these kids, whatever championships I won with my son's basketball team, however much money I've made or helped other people make, I know that my spirit and my legacy will live and last a very long time, because of the work that I did and the character that I presented behind that work. Intentionality, integrity, and just really working for the betterment of other people. Sorry for the long-winded answer, but I'm passionate.
No, it's a great answer. I highly appreciate it. I respect that answer. And my personal philosophy, or not even my personal philosophy, for me, myself, every morning that I wake up, no matter how terrible of a day I had before, I'm waking up with a smile on my face, and I'm still excited and ready to get back out there and do it all over again. Yeah. I'm doing something that I love. Yeah. So even after a bad day, even after the worst day, you can still wake up and ready to do it again. Heck yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah,
because you love it.
that's where it's at, man.
It's who you are. So yeah, I
Absolutely.
respect that, man. And I love that drive. And legacy is a drive.
Yeah,
You're a family man. Legacy it's a drive for a lot of people.
yeah,
They want to leave an imprint, something behind that others can appreciate and grow from.
absolutely. That's what it's all about.
And you know, my next question feels silly asking because you've given so much great advice, but I want to ask you, man, is there any advice that you would give to someone? Anything you'd like to say to anyone out there that's looking to do what you do?
Yeah, get in a community. I would say that please get in a community. What I realized was when I first started this, I was dope. I was really good at what I did because people told me, and then I believed in myself. I told myself I was dope. I thought I was good, but I realized that I kept going back to writing. And so when I was in college and I performed my first poem, there were other people who were already like in this community of poets and rappers and lyricists and like writers, and I didn't know that. I didn't even know that existed until they heard me and started, pulling me like, hey, come to this, come to this, come to that. So I got in the community, and once I did that, it just took off, right? And I would say for anybody that is doing music, anybody that is doing any type of art, it is better together. Not that you have to give all your ideas to somebody or throw all your money at this person for helping. That's not what I'm saying, but around like-minded individuals with the same or similar drive, sense of urgency, or y'all are on the same agenda or have a common goal or common interest. You get around those people, there's going to be a lot of light bulbs that go off. There's going to be a lot of aha moments and a lot of doors opening up. And I'm with a group now. I'm with a collective now, and it is truly better together. A lot of things that I have going on right now, social media wise, musically, financially, like it is all a result and a product of the team. People who are operating at the highest level in their strengths, and we come together. I operate in my strength. He operates in his strength. She operates. We're all operating in our strengths, and we come together, and everybody benefits greatly. Versus me trying to do all this by myself and kind of just being stuck or stagnant or not really consistent or not as effective or efficient. Like it's get in a community, and that doesn't. It can be through social media. It can be if you're in college, right? That's perfect. Is this what happened if you're in college? There's organizations around campus, around the city that you may be in. Do your research. There's no reason to where you can't be a part of some type of community because with the age that we're living in, with social media, with technological advances, and the different opportunities and avenues to make money and to be creative and to get yourself and your art out there, the opportunities are endless because of where we are in society now. So get with that community and learn, apply, and adapt.
Excellent. Well, we've been talking you've been talking this whole time. This is all about you. This is all about your work. Is there anything else that you would like to say? Is there anything you'd like to talk about?
Nah, I think that'll do it. I'm just truly grateful, for this opportunity to come up here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming on, man. This is great. This is eye-opening for me.
Yeah, I'm glad. So
it's a part of the music world that I'm not that familiar with, and I am becoming more of a fan. So I really appreciate it.
Well, welcome, man. Look, my music is out there. Enjoy. Take away what you may. But yeah, man, it's been a great ride. Like I said, I'm just now getting back, hitting the ground running with shows, new music, interviews, podcasts, networking. And so I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
As you should be. Yeah.
I'm glad to be up here. Glad to be giving advice, talking about my art, the movement that I'm a part of, and everything that I represent. It's been great, man, and I look forward to what's to come next. It'll truly be amazing.
Well, tell me something, so others know what's coming next. Where can we hear checks?
Yeah.
Where can we find you if we want to follow you on social media? If we want to get in touch and reach out. If you got some fans out there, you need some new fans.
Yeah.
Promote yourself, dude. Put it out there.
Absolutely. So again, it's Trell Brooks, and you can find me on social media, preferably Instagram, at Learn, Apply, Adapt. All right, that is Learn, Apply, Adapt. We have talked about it. We have said it a few times on this.
Yeah,
show.
It's a good motto.
I'm sure it won't be. It's not hard. Very easy to find. You'll type it in. You'll see Trell Brooks. I'm the first one. Click
That's right.
on it.
Links are in the show notes for sure.
Yeah, you got it. But Trell Brooks, and you can listen to Checks. It's out now. You can listen to it on all streaming platforms. If you got Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music, I think Google Play, anywhere, YouTube, it's out there. Go stream that, enjoy that, as well as the other music that's out. And just, tap in with the movement, shock the culture, LYMG, learn, apply, adapt. We got a lot of stuff in store, and this is only the beginning, because it is up from here for us, I promise.
Well, man, this has been an amazing interview. I've really had a great time talking to you. I just love the way that you put words together. And again, check out his music. Go listen to Checks. It's out right now. Look at his other singles that are out. I can't wait for you to get a full album out. I'm so excited to hear that.
Yeah.
My girlfriend enjoys this music. I'm really becoming a fan.
Thank you.
For those of you listening, exactly what he's been saying this whole time, acknowledge your pride, stay humble, and start building your legacy. Get out there and do it. Just do it. It doesn't matter how you go about it. Just get out there and do it, man. Be creative and know who you are as an artist, and don't doubt. Just push through. I love it. Don't you'll be what was it? The hard reality is yourself.
Yourself.
Yourself is the hard reality.
Yep, absolutely.
So for all my listeners out there, I know that you found something inspiring in this conversation. I know that this has helped a lot of people to grow as an artist and to improve. And if you didn't find anything inspiring during this conversation, then you just probably weren't listening, and that's okay. So until the next time, everyone, stay golden. Thanks for listening. Please be sure to rate and review and click that subscribe button for new bi-weekly episodes. As always, the theme music is provided by The Erica Page. Follow us on social media at IPA Sessions Podcast. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now we have a TikTok and YouTube. All information and links are in the show notes, so show some love and support for these amazing indie artists. And if you'd like to come on and share your journey as an independent artist, reach out to me via email at ipasessionspodcast@gmail.com. Till next time, I hope you found some inspirations for practical application and entertainment.
Look, in a better space from yesterday, thanks to a little clarity. I don't think y'all understand these words of healing and therapy. Self-destruction was the normal, my nigga, not the recipe. I can't consume everything in this world and wasn't meant for me. Know that I'm a different breed, just tell me what you think you see. Ask Shorty the match, she thinking packs, I'm talking energy. What has gotten into me, I'm waiting for the remedy. Despite my dirty mess within my steps, the Lord keep blessing me. Trying to be a better man, but it ain't easy. I woke up this morning and took the soul from a demon. Looked it dead up in the eye, said I'm not gonna be defeated. The win is edge, my nigga, I'm one hell of an elitist. I'm trying to be a better man, but it ain't easy. I woke up this morning and took the soul from a demon. Looked it dead up in the eye, said I'm not gonna be defeated. The win is edge, my nigga, I'm one hell of an elitist. No more late night garage sessions trying to match these issues. I work on letters with my son and see what he get into. Speaking of two, little mama birthday is coming up. I'm minding my mindset and showing all the family some love, cause that's what's up. Can't even say I'm the sickest nigga here. Don't wanna speak shit into existence, then go disappear. So let's be clear, I cried so many tears after George Floyd. Pain in my veins, try not to fear for my girl and boy. But of course I plan to apply all the forms. The world can never stop me unless I give that bitch a fucking joy. People making all the noise, I just need to raise the bar. That confidence is astonishing when you know just who you are. I done had some lonely lows, I've been on some dangerous highs. Didn't want to seek help last summer for being traumatized. You can see it in my voice, you can hear it in my eyes. What I said makes sense to me, no need to read between the lines. Trying to be a better man,